All right. Already got the comments popping in. I love it. Living in Sacktown. Is that Sacramento? I don't know. Let me know. Living in Sacktown. Is that Sacramento? If not, I'm curious what that would be though. So let me know. Several of you already out there, including Sacktown. So yeah, let us know where that's located at, and we will see. We're kicking off here. What's up, Krissy?
Hey.
Ready to rock and roll today?
Absolutely, always.
Let's see. Sacktown says absolutely. I'm looking for where are you from, Sacktown? Austin. We got Austin, Texas in the house already. What's up, Rochelle? How's it going? Okay, well, we're here for you. By the way, remind me directly after this, Krissy, we need to talk QR codes.
Cool.
For the book. I think they're going to allow us to slip some QR codes in the back.
Nice.
And I think that's just the best way, even though we have links in there. If people are reading, they're less likely to go and type out a link versus pull their phone out. Now, the links are easy, like on the ebook, right? Because the ebook, they'll just be able to click right through there. Yep. So, but pretty cool. We got the full layout yesterday and the full layout on the book. Which reminds me, I need to record a video. So I've been updating. I started to do the weekly update, and I need to do the update on the book this week because I could do it here, but also I've been sending a private video to everyone that has signed up at passiveprospecting.com to be the first to be notified when we release the book. You definitely want to do that because we are going to be doing some giveaways, right? Some contests and some other cool things like that. So yeah, got the layout of the book. Basically, the PDF it would be what it would look like on the ebook, that version. So completely laid out how it looks. Images look great. That was something that was interesting because initially, I did a lot of screenshots from our channel and put that throughout the book. And one of the first things they came back was like, "Oh, these are not good. They're not going to look good." And I was just like, just trust me. And then we talked, I was like, I'm pretty sure they'll be good. And then also, we flipped them. I guess you'd say that vertical. They're going to be horizontal. Now you'll have to kind of turn the book a little bit to see the full picture, but it just, since the pages are technically vertical, or you could say they're portrait, really, when you're reading that book, and all the screenshots are really ideally looked at in a landscape format, we just put them sideways. So that way it filled up usually a whole page. A lot of graphics we were able to get on half page or whatnot, but some of the, when I'm doing full screenshots of the channel, had to just turn that. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal if somebody has to, turn the book just to kind of get a good idea or do that whole shift your head thing. So but other than that, it's got it back. Yep. I found one little correction needed to be made so far, but so it's always good to check and recheck, and they're going to work on that, getting that corrected. But then I was like, hey, can we throw some QR codes in the back, at the very back? So I think that they said we could probably squeeze those in. So just remind me afterwards, we can jump on that. So otherwise, the book's moving along and very excited about that. Let's see here. All right. Well, I'm going to go over here to the chat, unless anything come up in your world, Krissy. What's new over there?
Well, yeah, just a lot of, we've addressed a lot of the big questions that we've had this week on our Clubhouse call. I think that if you guys have not listened to, I guess if you weren't live in the Clubhouse room, we're going to be having that go live next week, I believe, for the podcast. And we talked about how to create better content, because I would say that's probably the majority of the questions that I've had with the video editing team, is that people are just wondering how to make their videos higher quality from a filming standpoint. And so we go into depth in that on that podcast. So we'll be releasing that hopefully, I believe, on Monday. So.
Okay, cool. Another great resource. If you haven't subscribed to our podcast yet, then simply search passive prospecting, right? I think it should pop up with passive prospecting, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Search it on there. There's also a link down in the description, so you can click the link down in the description. So let's see here. Gwyneth, what's up, Gwyneth? Gwyneth says hello. Rochelle says hi. Absolutely. Let's see. Low Country Lifestyles. Hello. Looks like, I don't know if it's StreamYard. I guess StreamYard kind of changed up this format a little bit, huh? Because that's
a
little bit
looks
new.
a little different today.
And I believe everybody with the little YouTube icon on their name is subscribed to the channel. So if you don't have that, we will know. We will know if you're subscribed to the channel or not. Let's see here. Let's see, Rochelle. Hey, happy to be here. Good. Well, we're happy you're here as well, Rochelle. Let's see. Dennis. Dennis looks like is he throwing a channel up in there?
Mm-hmm. And just a reminder too, if you're not part of our Facebook group, because I did not see you in there, Dennis, and maybe I just was looking too fast. But if you're not in our Facebook group, please join that, because you can actually submit your videos or your channels for channel reviews on our actual event on Facebook. So,
okay. Let me see. Members. Let me see. I don't see Dennis in school. Is Dennis in school?
No, and he's not in the Facebook group that I could see either.
Is he in Kartra?
I don't believe so, but I can go check.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back. I see you though, Dennis. Let's see. Living in OKC, Oklahoma City. What's up? What's up, OKC? Yeah, Jonathan here. Jonathan in OKC. He's been crushing it, man. Seeing some of his videos and be getting some good traction. Curious, Jonathan. I'm sure you've been getting some reach outs. Let us know if you've getting some business, getting some calls. I'm sure you are. I saw some of those, some of his videos getting some good traction. Cliff, what's up, Cliff? How you doing? Looking good today. Let's see. Susie, what's up, Susie? Good afternoon to you as well. Okay, yeah, Dennis says would love a page review if time permits. Cool. I don't see him in any of our stuff. Maybe he's just follows the YouTube page.
Yep.
Okay, which is cool. Hey, nothing wrong with that. D. Smith, blessings. All right, D. Smith. Uh-oh, Mr. Malcolm. He's got a picture now. I was wondering.
Love it. Mr.
Malcolm has been on several of our live streams recently, and no picture, and now we know. Now we know. So I don't know if that's excitement or surprise or looking good, though. Looking good, Mr. Malcolm. Norman area of north of I-40. Norman, Oklahoma, I presume. Is that Norman, Oklahoma, I would say. Finding a home in Las Vegas. Nice. Looking good. Okay. Oh, just asked to join from Seattle.
Cool.
All right. Let's see. Here we got a question. All right. I love all the shout outs. You know, everyone's saying hi. I appreciate it. Let's see, we got a question here. And let's see. Jonathan, what's your best recommendation for outsourcing editing in the beginning? Is that a trick question? Was that planted? I'm having great luck with my channel already in 4 months or so, but editing is crushing me.
It usually does.
Yeah. I mean, come on, Jonathan, do you not know about our editing team? Do you not know about our editing team? And so, I mean, that would be my recommendation. We have an editing team that Krissy runs and manages all of that. And I think they're really good. And so, you know, the thing is that is, as I mean, it's, I think, very affordable, especially compared to what I've seen out there. And, you know, yes, you can, I mean, you could go on Fiverr. I've seen as low as $20 a video for editors.
Yep.
And, but you get what you pay for. So if you go back to, actually, let me turn on my other recorder, my other camera over here. I'm going to get some good reels action going on. I've been traveling, so I'm a little out of practice, you know? So that way, in case I
recording in progress
actually say anything worthwhile, then we'll have some of this content. So although now StreamYard, for those that don't know, StreamYard actually is recording us separately. And where can I got to check that in. Is that it should be checked automatically, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're probably good to go. So it's recording me automatically. Here's a really cool thing that StreamYard just came out with for those that may care. But the thing is that like we've been doing our blockchain for real estate live streams. That's going to be postponed for a couple of weeks because Teresa and Sheila and them are traveling quite extensively. So, we're just at the mercy of everyone's travel schedule. But, with 4 of us or even 5, let's say if it's myself, Travis, Teresa, and Sheila, when you got 4 little blocks up here on the live stream, that's very difficult to chop up, right? I mean, or if you try to chop it up, you're going to get somebody in alignment with you. But now StreamYard is recording everybody's camera separately, basically. So even though Krissy and I are splitting screens right now, it'll be recording me on a full screen, which we could easily chop out reels, right down the middle. And so, which is great. And it really solved a problem we were trying to figure out with, multiple people on a live stream for a couple of weeks. And then literally StreamYard just came out with that update. And so it was pretty cool. That was pretty cool because that definitely solves a problem for us because we wanted to be able to chop up reels and content for Teresa and Sheila so they would have it for their channel. So it's good. So let's see. Best recommendation. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I would say going back to what's the best recommendation for video editing? That would be accessing our team, utilizing our team. You can go to passiveprospecting.com/video editing services and, schedule a call. You can chat with Krissy if you want to get a little bit more in details. We have all the pricing on that page and everything. I mean, it's all out there. You see exactly what you get. It's completely turnkey. You get tags, titles, thumbnails, descriptions, SEO optimization, even uploaded for you, completely turnkey. You just have to film the content. So I don't know of a better service out there. Again, going back to Fiverr, you can go on Fiverr. I've seen as low as $20 a video, but you get what you pay for. You are going to be dealing with somebody overseas. You are going to be dealing with time zone changes. Usually you can only catch those people in the morning. So by 11 or 12 o'clock, they're in bed by that time. And so it's like, if you don't get on the corrections and if you need it's usually always going to be a day at a minimum to get anything back, a full day, just because that's the way they operate. I mean,
I would even say it's closer to a week.
Yeah.
I've used people on Fiverr for past business ventures, and you're not going to get anything back unless you pay a premium. They have premium services that you'll probably end up paying about double what you ask for to get it back within 48 hours. And then it's not good. And then you have to do it's about a week to 2 weeks sometimes to get a video back from there. Trust me, been there, done that.
Yeah, I mean, you'll get what you pay for. You'll see on the edits, and there will usually be quite a bit of back and forth. And typically what happens is once you get through 3 or 4 videos, which will probably be a little agonizing, then they disappear. So for some reason, I mean, it's interesting. Fiverr can be sometimes a really great option, and sometimes it can just drag you through the mud. I know we've just been putting together an ebook, right? That for some reason has taken quite some time.
Forever.
Because we would get through, because it has to be formatted for ebook. I mean, there's a lot of specifications and things that go into that. And when one person disappears, we got to start over and find the next one. And that's what's happened. Basically get through a percentage of the project and then they're gone. And like, all right. So yeah, I mean, I would say, John, I would literally say schedule a call with our team, talk to them. I don't think you'll find a better service out there and if you find any editor, going back to that as well, you find any editor, they're not going to know how to optimize. They have zero idea about SEO, optimization, YouTube, anything else. So then you're going to have to do that. Now, is that easier than editing a video? Yes. Could you do that yourself? Yes. But again, not something we recommend. Because your time can be better used in other places. It can be better making more videos, but I don't see how you do it. I mean, editing, if you're not interested in editing, it's terrible to learn. It's terrible. It's torture.
Yeah.
It's torture. And, that's something that we went back and forth on that kind of on the course, with our course about Krissy could easily input that in there, but we decided not to, because for that reason is that we don't really want to try to teach people how to edit, because number one, there's probably going to be a higher failure rate, because even if you're watching somebody edit videos and you're trying to do it, that is extremely time consuming and frustrating. And so, there's people way better than Krissy, no offense, that teach editing, that teach editing on YouTube, so if you really, 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 really want to learn or editing, just go on YouTube and learn how to do it there. And so that's why we didn't put it in there, because we didn't really want to encourage it, because again, it's not the best use of your time as a business owner. If you're a true business owner, then you shouldn't be editing anything, shouldn't be optimizing anything. Now, if you're extremely constrained by budget, that's a different story. I do believe in bootstrapping, and sometimes you got to do some things, but I mean, I would really work on the editing to get that sourced out. Optimizing, if you have to do that. I do think that is a valuable skill to learn and understand, and do that on your first videos regardless. So even if you can just find an editor, initially, if our team is out of that price range, then you could probably find a cheaper alternative on Fiverr and have them do that, and then do the optimization. And that would still save you a lot of time, because editing is no joke.
And we have an optimization only service now too. So, I mean, if you're doing editing and on your end, you have that figured out, but you're not really confident on the optimization, we also have that too. So definitely lots of options to consider.
There you go. Oh, and then we've added that to the website now too.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty cool. There you go. I didn't even know. See, we're making innovations within our own company, and I don't even have a clue.
I think you just forgot, because we talked about this specifically.
Well, yeah, we did talk about it. Okay. All right. So Dennis, so hopefully that helps out, Jonathan. Let's see. Dennis, all right, just joined. It's pending. All right. Kansas City Living. What's up, KC? Chris Lemoyne, living in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. We have a trader in the house. Chris, what's up, Chris? What's up, Chris? How are you? Let's see. Dave, what's up, Dave? I'm wintering in Florida for the first time and starting a channel there in the next 2 weeks. Cool. Yeah, Dave, I think that's a great thing to do, especially for the Northerners that the Northerners had to turn on the facial recognition on my on my Reels camera. I just looked over and I'm like, I'm looking a little bit blurry. Had to reach out there and grab it. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, people always ask about starting 2 different channels. I mean, 2 different channels is twice the work. I'll just say that 2 different channels is twice the work. And if you want to really get off to a fast start, 3 videos a week is going to get you off to a faster start than 2 or 1. So now if you're in 2 different areas, if you are a snowbird and you live up north and you spend half the time down south, then by all means, why not? Why not start 2 channels? And then you have seasons, right? You could have seasons to your channel. So I wouldn't even worry about that. It's like if you're going down to the south, and that's when selling season picks up in Florida, which is what I'm always told, is that the winter months are usually the high selling season in Florida. Then make content those 6 months while you're down there. And then whenever you head back up to wherever it is you're from, could be Michigan, New York, Buffalo, I don't know, all the Canada, places where they get a ton of snow, and it's better for you to film there anyways during the summertime. And whenever conditions are a little bit less crazy, then go for it. And then that would be a great way. And as long as you have a good referral partner or team member or somebody in place to handle that business, because even with that, you're likely to get reach outs when you're in one place over the other. So if you get reach outs for the other place where you're not at, then you want a very solid team member or referral partner in place. So depending on how you're structured, then yep, I think that's what you want to do. Let's see, Maria. What's up, Maria? Thorn Team LLC. Loving the videos. The class was great. Having a horrible time with getting ready to get ready. All right. Well, hey, good. First of all, the first step is admitting that, right? The first step is acknowledging the getting ready to get ready. Yeah. I mean, so this is just something that I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but it's always something good to bring up, because we always have different people on different, different streams that we're doing or conversations that we're having. But think about anything that was a challenge that you accomplished, and now you're very, very proud of that. And how hard was it in the beginning for you to start, or to, once you started, to get through that? And eventually you stuck with it, you persevered, you overcame, situations and concerns and issues. And then, it's either a part of your life, or it was a huge accomplishment, or something that now you're probably very, very proud of. This is what you have to look like, this is exactly what you're doing now in video. So everything is always difficult in the beginning. Everything is always awkward. It's overwhelming, depending on how your personality is and how you approach it, right? But, that can be the case for a lot of people. I remember a long time ago, I heard Tony Robbins talk about this very thing. Was about, he, of course, he's worked with everybody in every different industry across the world. And he talked to like two different performers, two different singers. And one, before she was getting up on stage, would say, my hands are sweaty, my heart's racing, I can't think straight. I'm nervous. I don't know if I can do this, and the other one he talked to, she was like, my hands are sweaty, my heart is racing, my head's all, messed up. And I know that's whenever I'm ready, to get out there and make it happen. And, both top of the game performers, just one was looking at it completely different. One was looking at it completely opposite. And that's just something that it's just stuck with me for a long time, because interestingly is that I never say I'm nervous. I never acknowledge that I'm nervous, but I can't control the stomach bugs sometimes, the butterflies, the heart racing. And I talked about that leading up to build, to speak, had that opportunity, found out, 60 days in advance to go speak in front of 6,000 agents. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. And then on top of that, they're like, oh, you got 20 minutes, whenever my normal presentation or all the information I would like to talk about is more like 45 minutes. So I'm like, okay, so not only do I have to be in front of 6,000 people, but then I have to chop, 60% out of my presentation. How do you choose what to talk about, what to leave out, what to leave in? And my biggest thing is that, well, I didn't want to disappoint the people that invited me there, the venue, the people that were running the whole show. And I didn't want to disappoint the audience, so I wanted to be able to, those were my two main goals. Number one, to make the venue people very, very proud and happy that they invited me there. So that was first of all. And so what did I have to do? I had to practice, I practiced. I wanted to make sure my timing was on point, because I also knew that their number one thing with speakers is timing. They don't want people running over. They don't, because it can throw off that whole event. And you're talking about, that's a huge event. And when you go backstage, it's amazing. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like you're launching the space shuttle back there. I mean, the amount of people and systems and wires and cables and everything back there that, goes on to put on that show. And on top of that, because Tony Robbins was the headline, like Tony Robbins had his own AC unit in there. Apparently it was like $250,000 just for him to bring in his own AC unit that blows oxygenated, high quality air and, coal. I mean, there was like behind half the stage, half of it was completely cut off. Like the whole event, even though Tony was coming on the last day, that side was completely off limits. It was just, he had, and then when he does show up, his security's there anyways, so all that stuff. So then they're working with half their space, You have certain ways you got to go on, you got to come off, you got to come down, microphone checks, sound checks, boom, boom, boom. There's a lot going into it. So did I feel it? Yep. I felt it. I wasn't going to say it. I didn't tell anybody until the day of. It was funny. Like Travis goes, I've never seen you look so nervous in your life. And I was like, really? Because I was trying to play it as cool as possible. And, but I guess my, it was just all wound up to that day. But the interesting thing though, this is what blew me away. And I felt it immediately, was as soon as I walked up those stairs and out on stage, everything just dropped, like heart rate, butterflies, it just stopped. And I just went into present mode and what I practiced. And it turned out great. It turned out exactly the way I wanted it to, other than the fact that I practiced. Here was the other trick, was that I practiced counting up. I knew they would have a clock on stage. I knew they would, but I practiced counting from 0 to 20. Okay. So I knew exactly where I needed to be at a certain slide. I was like, I'm not going to look at the clock. I just knew where I needed to be at a certain slide. So whenever I got to that slide, then I was going to glance at the clock and make sure I was on schedule. So I knew whenever I did that in my practice, that was at 13 minutes counting up. All right. But what I didn't even think about it. And on stage, the clock is counting down. It's counting from 20 to 0. So I didn't look at the clock. I did my presentation. So whenever I got to that slide, and I was kind of like, whew, take a breath, look, check the clock. It was it was opposite. So I want to say I was expecting it to be at 13 minutes. I think it was at 7. It was at 7 minutes. So I was right where I needed to be, which means I had 7 minutes left, but I was thinking 7 minutes. I was thinking of counting up. I was like, am I 5 minutes, 6 minutes ahead? Like, am I talking that fast? That's what I thought in my head on stage. Like I literally, cause I saw 7 minutes and I go, oh my God, I was thinking I've got a ton of time left, and it just didn't really compute. And it threw me off for a split second. But this is something that we always talk about with our team. We talk about with our team in real estate, that when you're with clients, like, don't show your cards, don't show your cards. It's okay. Like if you don't know something, like somebody asks you a certain stat or data or something like that, you want to let them know, I don't know. I don't know. Let me find that out. That's a great question. I'm going to get back to you and let you know later on today. That's okay. But if you don't know how to open a lockbox, or, there's trouble with the lockbox, or, you forgot to book the showing and then you show up, to the showing and you forgot to book it. Like you've got 5 houses that day and the third one you completely left out of it, and you get there and you're like, oh, don't sit there and say, we say, don't show your cards, which means don't tell your client. The client doesn't know. So you don't tell the client, oh my God, I didn't book this one. I completely start freaking out. And then you go over there and you can't get the lockbox open. You're like, oh my, I have no idea what's going on. This is so weird. Don't do that. You just want to be like, interesting. Technology's funny, right? This lockbox doesn't want to seem to open. Let me go make a phone call real quick. And then you walk around the side of the house or go back to your car, and then you're like calling showing time or whatever, saying, hey, I need to get in this house like right now, blah, blah, blah. So you do that where nobody sees what's going on. And this is the thing with even with filming video. A lot of the times you're going to be by yourself. You're going to be there, on your own. So even don't show your cards with yourself. A lot of people, if they mess up or get frustrated, that starts to set in, and they start talking to themselves. Oh, darn it. Dang, oh, that was stupid. Oh, don't say that. Oh, why did, as soon as you start making those gestures and saying things like, oh my God, that was, all of that, you start to play your own head game. And as soon as you start to play your own head game, then it's going to be difficult to recover from that. Not that you can't, but this is just something where, if you mess up, you mess up. It's okay. I mean, it's happened whenever I'm out filming. It's, trip, fall, that I stumble over my tongue sometimes. and I just stop and correct myself. Just like right now, this is live. So what am I going to do? If I mess up, you think I'm going to be like, remove myself? And I mean, I could, but, and then if I did that though, I would blame it on internet, right? So you wouldn't know I was freaking out. But if I just disappeared off this live stream, then I would come back and I'd be like, oh my goodness, internet went out. So, it is what it is, but don't show your cards. So whenever I was up on stage, I was kind of like looking at that at 7 minutes left, which was right on time, but I was thinking 13 and I was just like, oh shit. And I didn't compute it. So I didn't go, okay, am I ahead? Am I behind? I'm not really sure, but I just said, you know what? I felt like I was on pace. So I was just like, just keep going, just keep rolling with it. But that is a point where I kind of got a little, and then whenever it got down to like 3 minutes and I got down to my last two or three slides and I looked over and I saw 3 minutes, and then I was kind of like, oh yeah, it's counting down. And I've got plenty of time to cover my last 2 slides there. And I think I ended up finishing like a minute early because I had it timed out, but it was just one of those things. But anyways, so getting ready to get ready. I mean, the main thing is just, this stuff. Maria, you know it. You know your information. If I came to your hood tomorrow, if I came to the neighborhood and I said, hey, take me over to this suburb and, let's go for a walk and tell me about it. I'm pretty confident you could talk about it. And I said, hey, tell me the pros and the cons. What's it like to live around here? What's the cost of living? What's the median house price? What's the residents saying? What's the cool spots? What's the not so good spots? If I asked you any of those questions, I'm pretty confident you could give me those answers. And so all you need to do is make those lists, brain dump it on there. If you're in our program, we have it lined out there, which ones to do. So just take that very first one, dump it out on a piece of paper. I mean, look at this right here. Here's my sheet. I just wrote this out for a pros and cons video. Look at that. There's like 5 pros and 4 cons. Okay. That's it. That's really all I need. I know on there now, I know this stuff. I know this stuff enough to be able to speak directly to the camera. And now I've even incorporated, if you'll notice on some of our videos now where full B-roll comes up, I'm doing a little bit more voiceovers to where now I'm giving a little bit more information, like statistical information or things that I'm pulling from different websites or blogs or things like that, kind of reading it off. Like I've, talking about schools, I've just been going to directly to the school website, and most every single one I go to has like an about section, and it's usually a nice little paragraph that gives a really good summary of that school district. And as the Fighting Dragons are, started in this time, and we're really known for our academics and our athletics, and we've got a 99.1% graduation rate and 97 point, and then it'll give like some of its top stats in a brief paragraph. And so if I say, hey, I want to talk about Frisco High School today, or if I'm doing pros and cons, hey, Frisco's got a great school system. In particular, a couple of the high schools are top performers, such as Lebanon High School. And then I might just look away and read that little paragraph, and we can throw up B-roll, throw up B-roll directly over that, and it allows you to just read that stats, and then you come back and then you say, now here's, I live in Frisco, or I have several friends that live in Frisco, and that's where then you can finish up with your story and your experiences, right? Where, hey, I've got friends in Frisco and this is what they tell me all the time. Hey, I've helped a ton of clients move to Frisco and this is what they tell me. Or I live in Frisco myself and this is what I love about it. And then when you get to a con, so you can kind of give an intro, you can kind of give some stats on there, and then you could finish it up with a brief little story. It's very simple. So the main thing is just have your content, kind of in a flowing position. Let me see what else I got here. Let's see. I got lots of notes. Oh, yeah. So this was another video I did on this channel, like how to get started on YouTube, right? So how to get started on YouTube. Number one. Well, the thing is that I pretty much know I can talk about all this stuff. So if I say, hey, you want to get started on you want to get started on YouTube, here's the first thing you need to do. Number one, research. Then I look over, I'm like, okay, 3 books I want to talk about, YouTube Secrets, YouTube Formula, and Passive Prospecting, right? All right. So, and I can talk about YouTube Secrets for 2 or 3 minutes because I've read the book. I know the authors. I can talk through that. I can talk about YouTube Formula because I've read the book. So I give like 1 to 2 minute summary on that. I can talk about Passive Prospecting because we wrote it. So, and then I talk about channels. Hey, TubeBuddy, Daryl Eves, Nick Nimmin, D Nimmin, Roberto Blake. So then I'm like, look at these different channels that you can find, and I can talk about those because I've watched those channels myself. So, and that's all I need. All I need is my bullet points. And so I still do this today, is just write this out. I've got 5 points right there, 5 points. Make a plan. And under make a plan, I said, how many videos per week are you going to record weekly, monthly, what times, what videos? All I need is just a couple of those bullet points. And because I know my information very well, then I'm comfortable talking about it. And it's the same for real estate or suburb or neighborhood data, right? I mean, I can, this pros and cons of Prosper. I don't live in Prosper, but I've been around Prosper. I got friends that live in Prosper. I've been to Prosper. I've, swam at the community pools and been to the centers and hung out there. And guess what? I can get all the other high level stuff from a blog, or we write our own or gather that information. So it's very, very simple to do. You can either write it down like that, or, we can put it in a Word doc. Let me see. So what do I have? Oh, my WhatsApp is not working on my computer today for some reason. So I got, let me see, blogs. So if I pull this up, I'll share the screen real quick. Let me pull up something that I just worked on, Prosper pros and cons. And let me go back here and share my screen. Oops, that's not that button. Okay. So, or you can do it this way. I kind of do it both. So it just really depends, pros and cons of Prosper. So I kind of wrote out my bullet points on this one. I want my pros and cons to be a lot more in depth. So I just wrote out the main bullet points, and then I went and researched each topic a little bit, So, got some basic information, 35,000, blah, 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 anticipated to grow. So this is really good. I think you want to look at growth rates, anticipated to grow 135%, till 2040, reach, 3 times or twice as many residents, average income, 153K, 89% on their home. Here's some of the pros, great schools, so boom, got some information on Prosper High Schools. So this is really simple. So if you look on here, and if I were to, start this out on this one little section, let me give you an example of what I would do is I can stop. The thing is I can stop. Remember, you need to understand and get comfortable with starting a point and stopping a point. Everything else can be edited together. So I could be like, the first pro we're talking about today is the school system in Prosper, Texas, rated one of the absolute best in all of the state of Texas. Now, currently they only have 2 high schools, Prosper High School and Rock Hill High School, which Rock Hill was just completed about 1.5 years ago and is already overflowing. So they've started construction on a 3rd high school in Prosper. That's how fast this community is growing. And then I could stop, and then I could say, according to niche.com, Prosper has the fastest growing ISD in the state. They just finished construction on Rock Hill High School in 2020. The schools are competitive and put a huge priority on sports with 16 different programs. Prosper ISD has 22,000 students and more than 2,600 staff members, 14 elementary schools, 4 middle schools, and 2 high schools with 1 on the way. In 2022, Prosper had a 99.6 of the students graduate on time or early. Rock Hill had a 98% graduation rate. Education takes very high priority in Texas, so having a high percentage of graduates is normal for Prosper. And as I mentioned, they just announced they've already been in construction on Walnut Grove. The third high school is projected to finish 1 year in advance, so it will be opening up in fall of 2023. It was not projected to be finished until fall of 2024, so they're a year ahead of schedule. And that's how efficient they are here in the North Dallas area when it comes to new construction and building. There's also Collin College, which has about 53,000 students and offers more than 100 degrees and certification programs. Though there are other colleges in northern Texas, this is the only public college in Collin County with campuses in McKinney, Salina, and Frisco. So you can see if you want an affordable option after high school, Collin College, one of the best community colleges here in Dallas, is just right next door. So you'll have easy access to that, and you can knock out a couple of years before heading off to university. And that's it, so that covered that one section. That probably took maybe 3 minutes in totality, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes whenever all of that gets edited together. But I just did that on the fly, and you can see how I understand the overall concept of Prosper, even though I don't personally live in Prosper. I know what's going on there. I know what's happening. I know about and what I've researched on there as well. So I can talk about the two main high schools, one under construction. Then I can just look over there and read off of the actual fact sheet. And what we'll do is, put up B-roll. We can put up B-roll of the high schools around those areas, put that up. And so it completely overlays me and something simple to do. So hopefully that helps you out, Maria. That was a very long answer to getting ready to get ready. So hopefully that helps out. Let's see. Living in Oklahoma City, 7 reach outs in a week. A couple of weeks ago, have 3 solid buyer leads. I'm currently working. There you go. We just got 2 deals under contract this week, from YouTube clients. And I'll tell you what, that people are still buying out there. They're buying right now in this market with these interest rates. They're out there. And again, this week alone, we've already got 2 deals under contract. So, we're seeing things pick up. Our leads doubled this week over last week. Coming in from the channel. So, and we're starting to see a lot of Zoom calls get scheduled in. It's pretty awesome. So, let's see. Okay. So Manuel Rodriguez Tartak. Interesting last name, Tartak. Let's see. Hey, Levi, let's see. How do you see a YouTube channel where I showcase the overall vacation in Miami to bring traffic to my vacation rentals? I'd make videos about them, so especially the ones with beach views. I mean, anything that looks amazing. I mean, you just got to film the content. So I would make it into an evergreen format to where, this is an exclusive vacation rental right on the beach. You could have an awesome thumbnail, I'm sure, of the view of the beach, everything like that. So do a tour, walk them through everything. So that way, not only will people be interested to see a condo or a house or whatever the case may be, that, they want to see what that's like to walk through there. But then once they know, oh, that place is available to rent, then you just let them know. And by the way, if you want to rent this very location, find the link below in my description. And that's simple. I mean, I think that's super easy. Super easy to do. Finding Home Las Vegas. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. And Rochelle says, okay, yep. Interested about the editing team. I believe we have that in the description too of our channel, right? Let me see. I would hope we do. Yeah, done for you video editing. Yeah, that's in the description of our videos. So that should be in the description of this live stream as well. If you click on the description below, I think you'll find it. Otherwise, you'll find that on our website, passiveprospecting.com. I do. I'll take another look at you guys again for sure. Okay. All right. Oh, he does know about us. I get what you're saying. What's the cost of Krissy's editing team? They are, very affordable. So go to passiveprospecting.com and then click on the video editing services and you'll find everything you need there. Let me see. Jerry. What's up, Jerry? Jerry says, hey, y'all, do you mind sharing a recommended list of equipment for making the videos, camera, lighting, microphone, editing software? We have all of that in our program. I'm assuming, Jerry, you're not in our program. So do we have that on our Facebook? I thought we had that on our Facebook page.
I thought we did too.
Yeah, I think it should be in our Facebook page as well. Let me see. I can double check real quick. Switch over. Is it in media or files? Oh, yeah, it's in files. That's what I thought. Yeah, check our Facebook group. It's in the files section. So let's see, Mr. Malcolm. All right, is TubeBuddy the only keyword research tool that you use for videos? Me personally, I just have TubeBuddy. There's vidIQ. Do you have both, Krissy? Do you have vidIQ as well?
Yeah, I like to use vidIQ if I'm running low on keyword ideas. I just use it for keyword ideas. As far as ranking goes, I always revert back to TubeBuddy because the score is more accurate in my opinion. But vidIQ does come up with some really good keyword ideas. So I like to I use their free version just for suggestions.
So they have like a keyword generator or something?
Yeah, they have keyword suggestions that you can use, and it helps you kind of find. I feel like their suggestions are a little bit better than TubeBuddy in some situations, especially in smaller areas. It seems to pull up some better keywords for that. So I use both of them at the same time. TubeBuddy comes up with quite a few good ones as well, but sometimes in smaller areas, it has a hard time finding something that's going to rank. And so vidIQ, I usually fall back on that if I have a hard time finding stuff.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
We got a lot of Dallas people on here today. Where'd all these Dallas people come from? Y'all are not allowed to make YouTube videos. I'm just saying. If you're in Dallas, no more YouTube videos. How would you combat being in the same city with another agent? For example, Dallas with a guy like Levi Lascsak. Hand orange covering eyes. Haven't launched it. Hand orange covering eyes. Wanted to maybe adjust name content slightly. So I'm going to give all my secrets away. We're actually just talking about this morning with our team. I mean, if you come into Dallas, yes, you're going to have to compete. You're going to have to compete with us. And the thing is that, can you do it? Yeah, absolutely. I think so. And I think, again, not everybody likes me, so they may like you better. There's two of you, Matt and Britt. So, who knows? They may like the couple aspect or whatever. Some females may look to, since you have Britt in there, they may say, I'm going to go that route because of the female. So, I mean, there's just so many things you can do. But otherwise, I may niche down instead of just going after Dallas. I may niche down. I don't know, senior living, universities, students, there's different topics or things that you could cover that I think if you highly concentrated on something like that, I think there's an opportunity there because otherwise there's a lot of noise right now coming on. But I know for us, we're just, we're gonna keep pushing forward, still ranking and still getting calls, but it will be a little bit more difficult just here locally. But because there's two main channels that I've got to fight with. I feel like I know we do more business than them, but still rankings it's competitive because they understand how to do that. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's okay. We're working around that, and I'm figuring out new ways to do things differently and things like that. But if you niche down on something, in Dallas that is very specific, then you focus all your efforts. You could focus all your efforts on that, and then maybe that's there's so many opportunities. I don't know. I don't say hate to. I don't know. There's just there's so many people I'm seeing pop up in Dallas. I mean, I'm seeing new channels almost like every day. It seems like in Dallas, YouTube's feeding me because I click on them and I'm always like, oh, who's this person? Who's this Dallas person? And so YouTube just knows I love Dallas real estate videos, right? And so I get popped up a new one. I'm like, oh, there's a new one. It was funny. We caught somebody last night, somebody that has taken our complete wording exactly. Just basically stripped it and want to teach YouTube. They want to teach YouTube, but have nowhere even. They haven't even posted on their channel in 3 months. I don't know why. Just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind before. But they're going to do a class and took our exact taglines, everything. Not even. Look, I believe in modeling. I believe in looking at other people for inspiration. But at least change a word or two, maybe. At least change a word or two. At least But that's it. No big deal. It's just, it's going to be a challenge. I'll say that, so Matt and Britt, welcome. We appreciate you, thanks for joining us and, thanks for looking to us, but it'll be a little bit more challenged. I think you just got to be a little bit more creative and maybe possibly even niching down into certain areas or certain topics. And I'm just using 55 plus communities, for example, because nobody's really focused on that. Now, some people may say, well, there's no 55 plus people on YouTube. You'd be surprised. It's one of the strongest demographics on YouTube is the 55 plus community. So something like that, farm and ranch. I can't tell you how I'm trying to find me a farm and ranch person because I know that's going to, So there's different things, multifamily. Just to say, there's so many different things that you could focus on versus Dallas, Texas. You go with Dallas, Texas. I do this all the time now. I was just at a conference last week and people, kept coming up and saying, hey, what's your channel? What's your channel? And I'd just say, pull out your phone, type in Dallas, Texas on YouTube. Our channel pops up every single time, and that's extremely consistent. And so we're ranking, if somebody searches Dallas, Texas, it's going to be difficult to work around us. Now, the thing is that once you watch one of our videos, YouTube's going to recommend other videos. I know it's going to happen. They're going to recommend more of our videos because you watched our video, but they're still going to recommend some other creators. So if you got videos out there, you'll probably show up in recommendations and that's how people will find you. And those people will resonate with your personality more than mine, for the ones that call you. But again, I don't know the people that don't call us because they don't call us. So I don't know how many people we lose. But let's see. What's up? Living in Louisville, Kentucky. I think that's Will. Is that Will? I'm stumped. How does one add the subscriber bar so it shows on YouTube iPhone format? It shows on the YouTube page. How does one add the subscribe bar?
I think he's talking about making it an auto subscribe link on your banner and how to make that show up. That's probably what he's asking.
If you're talking about your your banner cuts off on iPhone regardless. So, if you're talking about the subscribe links to the far right, they're not going to show up on iPhone. So if that's what you mean, let me know if that's what you mean. I think that's Will. Is that Will? I think if that's what you're asking about, if you're asking about the subscribe, or where we say meet us on Zoom to the far right, then that's never going to show up on mobile. So Tampa would love a review of life in Tampa. Let me see. Oh my goodness, we got more and more questions. We're already out of time too. I'm sorry, I talk too much sometimes. Now we got the channels. Are these nobody's posting this stuff in the YouTube or in the Facebook page, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we really need to get those ahead of time, guys, and then we can pull those out. So if you're in our Facebook group, and I know you guys are because you're in our editing squad, but if you want to just post those ahead of time in the Facebook group, that will allow us to do those at the very beginning. So yeah, we definitely need to do that. So we'll put a reminder in the group. Can
you get one-to-one help to set the you set the YouTube channel. It's also new to me. Just gets parts of it, but need help in areas of it. I mean, we do lots of calls, Susie. I mean, we don't really do a direct one-on-one. We have a weekly course support call. That's a great, you can schedule to get on that. That's really a great place to do that. That's only for the program clients, and that's in the program itself. There's a link in there. And then we have Tuesday, and really this call is ideal for that. So you just got to submit in our Facebook group. We always submit ahead of time. We ask for people to submit your channel there so that we can pull that and take a look at it. Plus, if I can pre-look at it, I'm not seeing it just from scratch. So I appreciate everyone throwing it in here, but also that you see how many questions we have as well. So I want to be respectful of the people that have the questions. And so we asked for if we could get the channels in advance so we can take a look at that. But I'll throw up some here and let me see what my timeline is. I can go a little bit. I'll go a little bit longer today to try to get to that. Budget is tight. Once I get my first deal, I'm hiring your team first thing. Any success I'm already seeing is a result of Levi and your team for the. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Let's see. Let's see. Chris, let's see. Do I need to come up with something else? New guy here. We're living in Dallas, Texas. You're living in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. That's kind of different. It's up to you. It's going to be hard if it's living in Dallas, Texas. It's going to be hard to compete with us on that phrase. It just is. So there's lots of different options and things that you could change it up for. But I mean, you threw Fort Worth in there, so that's making it different right there on its own. How do you optimize if the channel name is the same as another channel? I think it really depends on your market. I'm not sure what market you're in, Eric, but most of the times if there's another channel, a lot of times we find is that people are not optimizing even towards that keyword. So maybe their channel is named that, living in Eugene, Oregon. I don't know, Eugene, Oregon. But they don't fully understand optimization and how to drive multiple videos around that keyword. And so that's where we can usually outrank them easily. So that I wouldn't be worried about. I'm just saying for the Dallas people, we've been very intentional about this for 2 years now about, doing our optimization around Dallas, Texas. So it's going to be more of a challenge for the Dallas people to do that. But again, there's still opportunity there. Thanks for the pep talk. I'm on it. And that was at build. No nerves detected. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. There you go. Let's see. Real estate in Espanol con Claudio Fleisch. Awesome. Nice picture too. Looks lively. So what kind of affiliate links do you suggest to do in the real estate channel? I would look at our description, and those are probably some good ones. Actually, if you look in the description, the main one, we have a affiliate link for utility concierge. Actually, that's for real estate agents. That's on this channel. So as a real estate agent, you can get 20% of people's Utility Connect. So Utility Connect is a company that has a concierge, one phone call. That's the cool thing. We refer it to people when they go under contract. So we have it in the description of this, on this channel. But then when people go under contract, we send them that link and say, hey, if you want to get all your utilities hooked up at one time with one phone call, call Utility Connect. So the cool thing about them is that they will, get in contact with Utility Connect, and it's a concierge, and they'll say, okay, you want your TV, internet, gas, electricity, all that. They can work to get them all connected with that one phone call. And for agents, the link that we have for you down there, you can earn 20% commission on there. So that's something we pass along. So that's a really good service to pass along to your clients. But otherwise, other than that, for real estate clients, there's not a lot on trying to get that facial recognition back on that camera. It keeps popping out. There's not a lot of affiliate links, I would say, that I know of. And so, most people move into ancillary services like title and mortgage and insurance. Those you could consider affiliate programs, but there's, and I'm sure there's some things if you really looked out for it. Clearly there's some electricity companies and things like that are more part of a, I don't know. I just wouldn't really recommend that type of stuff. Sometimes people pick up on that stuff and they know. And so I don't know. I would stick with as basic as possible. Remember, the real estate commission is really a high ticket item. And that's what we're going for, is closing out, providing in service, and going from there. If you want to expand from there, probably title, mortgage, insurance. Those are really, you could look at those as super affiliates almost, because they pay out a lot more, but you've got a lot to put into that. So the utility concierge, I think, is an easy one, is the main one that we use. I haven't really dug into a lot of other stuff. So great suggestions. Talking as though we were talking to someone about the hood area. You are right. I know this and can talk about this place. There you go. Cool. Okay. Love that. Sometimes I stuck because I want to share specific data I don't know, and I thought I need to memorize it and become a robot. B-roll plus voiceover key. Cool. There you go. Tremendous help. Okay. I'm going to kind of run through these. I'm going to try to go back and go back. Let's check out. I can't pull that link from a comment, can I? See,
I threw that into your WhatsApp.
Oh, I can switch camera places.
There you go.
I just learned that trick. Wow, something new. I didn't realize that. I can just drag that over and switch with you. Yeah, remember, I used to just leave the stream and then come back. So see, learning new stuff all the time. Well, I can't get WhatsApp to work on my computer today for some reason. Can you? How else can we get that? You want to just email it to me real quick?
Yeah.
Or let me see. Oh, he's got his. I can probably just pull it up by his handle. Let me try that.
Yeah.
Let me try that. See what we pull up. Pull that over to the side. Oh, and if you haven't, you should check out our latest video that came out on the channel too, about the before and after the YouTube setup, right? If you want to see what this looked like before, and you want to, well, you can kind of see what it looks like now, but that's a pretty cool video. Actually, it's doing quite well, huh? It's kind of, let me see. All right, so let me share this. Nope. Share my screen. Boom. All right. All right. So first of all, Dennis, let me get this out of the way. I will just say initially, it's a very busy banner. There's a lot going on there. So just take everything with a grain of salt. Now, what I do like is I do like the white on the dark background. You can, kind of clearly see there's, the city in the background. So that's a nice touch. You got Mount Rainier back there, one of the predominant landmarks of Seattle area, I suppose. So I think you said you're in Seattle. So number one, Washington. Okay. So you got you got the state there. So I don't know if you have a statewide team or if you're willing to drive all over the state or how that works, but Washington is a pretty broad term. So just something to keep in mind. I mean, if you really are working a city, now again, if you have agents across the state, that's a different story, but it's also, you're going to have a lot of content, to really, because you think about what, I don't know, Tacoma, Seattle, where's that place where Wazoo's at? What's that place called? I don't know. I know Washington State University, I believe, is like on east side of the state. Yakima, I don't know. Yakima, is that a place in Seattle? Somewhere over there. And you got to help me out there, Dennis, in the comments. So let me know if I'm on track. But anyways, you got a lot. You got a lot going on there. So Washington's pretty broad, but also you got life, fun, food, real estate. Okay. I mean, I will just say that life, fun, and food is just something to be mindful of. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult. It's not impossible, but the thing is that you really want to understand your audience. Okay, so LOL, those are on the east side of Washington. Yes. So I don't know. Are you willing to work those areas, or do you work those areas now? That would be my question. I mean, I would probably narrow down a little bit more if possible. You have a lot of socials over here. This is just something we've cautioned against. Again, you're free to do as you wish, and only you know really what's best for your channel. But we feel, that distracting people to other social platforms is not ideal. We only want them to leave the channel if we want to get them to book a call. So we don't want people going over to Facebook or Instagram, because if I go over to, I don't know, let's just see. If I go over to Instagram, what am I going to see there? Well, first thing I see is Simba, I guess, right? Is that Simba? Oh, it's got a Detroit lion up there. Okay, so I'm confused now. I know you're from Seattle, but you're holding up a Detroit lion. Okay, new trending audios. So again, if this is not so much real estate related, which again, there's a certain, there's a certain aspect of this. People will talk about including personal stuff, hobbies, life, food, all that other stuff. Okay, it does say realtor up here, but here's the deal. This is my opinion on that. This is my opinion on that as far as that sort of stuff. I don't know if people really care that much about us unless we are some sort of celebrity, right? So Ryan Serhant, I think people are interested in his personal life. If he wants to talk about his home life, or a day in the life of, or if he shows his vacation, or he did his whole Ryan's wedding spinoff thing. I mean, once somebody hits that certain celebrity status, people become interested in personal life, hobbies, and things like that. Starting out as just as an agent on a channel that's really trying to generate business in your market, it's just something I would caution to be cautious about, because if I come to your channel and the first thing I see is, let me go back here real quick. First of all, shorts are the first thing on here as well. So this is something that I would at least flip these two playlists. Number one, I think you need a lot more playlists, and I would put your videos up here first versus shorts. But okay, I see a food picture. So okay, it's branded. Okay, so let's just say somebody comes to the channel and that's the very first video they click on, just like I did, because hey, we are top to bottom, left to right type of people, just because most people go in order, right? So if you think about that, that's top to bottom, left to right. So if somebody, their first impression, they come to your channel and they're like, okay, kind of cool, but I would say the logo really over dominates. It's really taking away from all these key sceneries or scenic areas that you have on here, which look really nice, but the logo is just overpowering. So if you want the logo on there, I would put that up in a corner and a lot smaller, and probably not even necessary, because also this to me is just, it's branding that's not necessary. People are looking for information. Think about it. People are researching. What I always say is that people, watch our videos before they've ever decided to hire a real estate agent. So if the first thing they come here and they're like, oh, this is a real estate agent, I'm not really interested in that. I'm trying to just research on some areas. These are the types of things I think about. I try to think about what's the viewer, what type of conversation are they having in their head? So here, I would just say, maybe this is an intro. Okay. So the thing is that, I mean, the park, you guys, fireplace, walk in the office. I would just say it doesn't prepare me for what I'm about to see. And something about shorts or short form content is that people are wanting to know what they're going to get within that first 3 to 5 seconds. So then I don't know what I'm going to get there. Maybe I'm thinking I'm going to get an overview of the area, and then all of a sudden now we're focused in on one restaurant. Well, the thing is that if I'm looking for a place to live or looking at an area, the type of restaurant is typically probably the last thing on my list, for the fact that I think when people move or they check out new areas or they're researching, I think everyone assumes that there's going to be good restaurants in the area. There's going to be, good coffee shops. There's going to be good schools and a good church and things like that. So that's why we don't really focus on that stuff. We want to focus on the area and the homes and the neighborhoods and, what's around there. And we might mention Giorgio's Greek Cafe. By the way, we're here in this neighborhood and you have to go to Giorgio's Greek Cafe, because I tell you what, if you love Greek food, it's absolutely amazing. Tell Giorgio himself that I sent you, and that is just simply mentioning it. So, and again, I think it's very nice to, to promote another business or something like that. But we talk about this as well, is we talk about incorporating versus dedicating. Incorporating, again, which is if you're doing an overview on the area, I think an intro on that, if you really wanted to feature that restaurant in a short, which that could be a short, but I think the short would be better served as if you're walking down the street and you're like, hey, I'm here in, I'm just going to use, for example, I don't know where this is at, but I'm going to say, I'm here in, oh, it's in Puyallup. Okay. 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 So the title, the title kind of says that. Oh, yeah. So I would probably start out and it'd be walking down the street and say, hey, I'm here in Puyallup. I'm here in Puyallup on Baker Street. And let me tell you something. Baker Street is the place you want to be if you're coming or thinking about moving to Puyallup. It's going to have everything you need: shops, restaurants, bars, boutiques, everything. But I tell you what, there's one place in particular, Giorgio's Greek Cafe, you have to check out. It's absolutely amazing. Make sure you tell Giorgio I sent you. And I think something like that would be a little bit shorter, sweeter, to the point. And then also you're kind of giving them more information about that main street and what's going on there, versus here. I'm just going to say that it's the intro. I don't think feeds into it. Doesn't tell me what I'm getting into. I'm expecting maybe more of a tour of the neighborhood. And then we talk about a Greek restaurant. And I'm just cautioning, because I say, oh, well, I'm not interested in Greek restaurants. I'm trying to live. I'm trying to make a move. It's usually the last thing that people are initially concerned about. So it's just, again, all with a grain of salt. I want, people, you can do absolutely what you feel. I'm just saying, from my research and what's really worked for us is just really focusing on what people are searching for and the information they want. And so therefore I would definitely flip flop on the homepage. I would at least put videos up first, because you want people, YouTube is a long form platform, period. It's the king of long form platform. And to me, long form content converts better out of anything else. Last year we closed 86.2 million from YouTube, just from the YouTube channel. We did more than that, but just from the YouTube channel that we tracked, 86.2 million. I just don't know. I haven't yet heard of anybody turning over that much volume from one social media channel. So, and I know people do business on TikTok, Instagram, from YouTube, but in 1 year, that amount of volume. So the thing is that that's all I'm thinking about is I'm thinking about conversion, getting someone to pick up the phone. That was our number one goal, is how do we make the phone ring? And so that's why we did not do restaurant videos, restaurant owner interviews, anything like builder interviews. I don't talk to anybody on the channel. It's me. I'm the authority figure, right? I'm the information giver. I'm the tour guide. I'm everything. Now I may mention something. Oh, I had a conversation with Giorgio, or I tell you what, I'm over here in Puyallup and I love this street. It's absolutely amazing. Some of my favorite places are this, and this, but I tell you what, Giorgio's Greek Cafe, it's awesome. So, now here's the other thing too. Here's how you spin this around is I would title it. I would just shoot the video differently, but then I would title this best Greek food in Puyallup, so I would look at, this is the thing you want to do on shorts as well, is I would look at what's searchable, right? Because nobody is likely searching Giorgio's Greek Cafe. So that title becomes non-searchable. So if you want this video, since it's already up there, so I'm not saying take this video down or add all anything, you can leave it up there. But actually what I would do is I would A/B test on TubeBuddy different titles, and I would leave your title on there, and then I would A/B test with best Greek food in Puyallup, then at least people get a really good understanding of what they're gonna, then that title should intrigue them enough to say, ooh, what is the best Greek food in Puyallup, So I would A/B test those titles and see what's going on. So I like this one better. Oh, I didn't have that on the screen, huh?
Yeah, you just pulled it off the screen.
Sorry. Let me see. So this one, let me go back. This one I like better already. So gets right into it. So, it's like large grass field. I'm just going to mute that a little bit, because if it's on mute, you're getting the point. Love the visuals on there. So you get full fence dog park. You're showing that, riding trails. Something to keep in mind there too, just like that. Like I'm assuming maybe those are your kids. You got to be careful with putting kids in your videos. Especially that one there. I'm assuming those are your kids. If they're not your kids, then you absolutely want to be cautious about putting other people's kids. So you do want to be mindful when you're filming at parks or public places about kids in the area. And if they're your kids, clearly they have your permission or you have their permission, but YouTube could still censor that in a way, to do that. So just something to be mindful. But if you use the backs of them, like if you were just only, and it's really the faces is the main thing. So if it's the backs of them, then that's a little bit less, but it's something to keep in mind. But I like this a lot better. But again, I would test this out and say, best park in Puyallup or something, or best park for biking and hiking in Puyallup or something. I don't know. I would test it with a different title just to see what happens there. But that's a little bit more to the point on there on the short. So I'm going to go back there. Thumbnails, they're on a small scale. You can't see them if you're watching this online on the screen. I'm looking on my computer. They look pretty clean. Okay, so this one's only 54 seconds and it's horizontal. So Again, I would just say that, YouTube is the king of long form content. So if you're inside that home, I mean, you should be the authority figure. You should be touring us through that home. If that's your listing, then you should be walking us through there. You should be at the front and saying, or you should be walking down the street in the neighborhood, or you're over that's in Pulliup. So there, not only I would be walking down that street, like where you're at Giorgio's, I'd be walking down the street and say, hey, today we're in Pulliup neighborhood and I'm on Baker Street. It's full of shops, restaurants, bars, everything. I tell you what, my favorite Greek restaurant, Giorgio's, is right over there. My favorite coffee shop, the Standard Pour, is right over there. My favorite, bar to meet up with the friends for happy hours, right over there. And I tell you what, everything you need is this street and so many other cool little spots here in downtown Pulliup. However, I'm going to show you on a house on the market right now that you won't believe it. You have to see it. That's what we're going to take a look at. Let's go check it out, Boom. So you give a little intro, a little, something there. And then you show up to the home and say, hey, here we are in Pulliup, in this neighborhood. We've got a home listed at $450,000. It's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,800 square feet. And let's go inside and take a look. Notice as we walk in the entryway, you've got, you start describing some things. Now, again, I would also recommend, let me throw this back up there. I would also recommend, before putting these types of videos, home tours on your channel, that they're going to be better staged, at least as well. So this one, we're missing some furniture in there. Kitchen's okay, but a couch in there, something a little bit more. But I would say 54 seconds is way too short, especially for a horizontal video. That should be as short. It should be vertical. And I just wouldn't put that short of videos on the channel. So that's something else. All right. I've got I'm already way over anyways, but that's, I hope that, he says wasn't his listing, but you're okay. Yeah. So hopefully that helped. Dennis. That's the high level overview I can give for right now, based on time. Let me see. So since I live in a lake area, my cover should emphasize lake real estate, I guess. Yeah, Shelly, I think that would be a great thing to do. Let's see. Okay. So Dennis says I was given permission to shoot, but we'll be mindful moving. Yeah. No problem. If you get permission to shoot, great, but just know what you're shooting, right? So if they say, hey, come over and shoot my empty property, you may want to be like, okay, yeah, I'll get back to you, so be mindful of that. Ideally, staged homes are going to just show that much better. And especially in that lower price range, if there's not a lot going on, not a lot of special features, not a lot of wow factor, you're going to want it to look as good as possible. Because guess what? There are people in the market, for that price range, and they are watching. But I would want to turn that into an evergreen video, have it look good. And if that's not the house, then keep looking for another $450,000 house that does have furniture in there, is presentable. But, walk them through there. Point out all the good things, that you like about the house. Be mindful if you have to point out a few, get it sold. But otherwise, okay, you have a restaurant tour on here as well, I'm looking at. So Mama's Torini's restaurant tour. I would just stay away from that stuff. You got a bowling video on there. I just think you need, Pharrell's Pizza. Okay. I would just say it's more, I'm just seeing more, at least what's been uploaded, more food content than real estate content. So I'm going to say this is more of a food channel. And so if people view it more as a food channel, it's going to be difficult for them to make the real estate transition. Okay. Was there any other questions you saw, Krissy, we might want to address before I jump? I always like this one. Denver in a minute. Oh, like that's a good name. Denver in a minute. That would be good if your whole channel was shorts, right? Denver in a minute. Your whole channel was shorts. Let's see. What do you think about having content in multiple languages? I speak Spanish, and are you considering having a separate channel in Spanish? Yeah, I mean, we talk about this quite often. I mean, 2 channels is twice the work. So just be mindful if that's what you do, separate channels, it's going to be, twice the amount of work. And then think about it. You record one video and then you're going to turn around and record it. I think Denver in a minute, I'm not sure what your name is, but let's say it's Fred. I think you solve that problem by saying, hey, my name is Fred, habla español, and we are here looking at this nice Denver home. I mean, it's something that's simple. You put it on your banner, habla español, or whatever the correct term is. Don't quote my Spanish. So, put that on your banner so people see that on your banner. And then when you introduce yourself, hello, my name is Fred, and habla español. And so Betty, one of our team members, just did a video for us that I asked her to do that. I was like, hey, when you say your name, Betty, she's like, okay. And then she was like, my name is Betty, bienvenidos, I think, habla español. She said something else, and then she went right back into English. So it was just something that lets people know. So let me see.
I think that was pretty much the last major question that I saw.
Yep.
A lot of nice comments now.
Shelly, said I'm late, but the new office. Oh, thanks, Shelly. Well, all right. Dave says, great show this week. Cool. All right, cool. I think we pretty much got through. So hopefully, is that Bruce? He said we just discussed that with Krissy. Not sure what he means, but is he talking about Spanish?
No, we had a call a couple of days ago. I'm sure we talked about something. It's probably one of your comments from earlier that I'm forgetting.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got a call. I've got a client call I've got to jump on. So I've got a hard stop, but we still went almost 30 minutes over today just for you. All right. So, but thank you. I mean, man, we had a really great turnout today. Lots of good questions. So we appreciate you. I mean, I'll stick around as long as possible, anytime I can. Hopefully you found some value in this. Dennis, hopefully that was helpful. Nothing personal there. Just we want to get to the point, and there's a lot to digest there. I mean, there's a lot more. I think you can. I mean, the point is you're making videos. That's the good thing. The point is that you're making videos. You don't seem concerned about being on camera. That's always half the battle. So I think just make some adjustments. And it looks like your channel's early enough that this stuff won't matter. I would just completely shift focus to 100% real estate content, incorporate things you like, but let's not dedicate videos on Italian restaurants and bowling alleys and things like that. It's just not what people are searching for when they're looking to buy a home. So you want to capture them in the research phase before they've decided to hire a real estate agent. So, maybe once they make that move and they've bought a house and they're in that gap, maybe that's when they start researching the other stuff. But you don't want them to, you don't want to be the channel that they find after they've hired somebody else. So just something to keep in mind.
And don't delete anything on your channel. Just unlist it if you decide that you don't want to show it. That's a little nugget there.
Yep. But again, I think you're early enough on this channel. You just need to shift focus,
Yep.
So good. All right. Let's see. All right. Going live on Saturday. Cool. Saturdays are good days to go live. Orange Beach, Alabama. We'll tune in next week to ask my questions again since you did not have time to get to it. Thanks. Well, let's see. Where are you at, Orange Beach? Did he ask one?
We had so many comments. It's hard for me to see where that one was.
Oh, I got 1 minute. Let's see. I've been getting some traction. As far as buyers leads, but would like to know your input on how you attract sellers, like video ideas or whatever you are expert of. Thanks in advance. Orange Beach. Do we know who that is?
Program. So I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, we cover that in our program. But that's definitely a long discussion. We could probably talk a little bit about that.
There's a whole module on it.
Yeah. So, but I do have to jump to another call. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you go to passiveprospecting.com. And you can see it right there, passiveprospecting.com. Sign up so you're first notified whenever we release the book. Check out Passive Prospecting on Apple Podcast as well. Great to learn while you drive. All right. And we'll see you next week.
And remember to submit your stuff in the Facebook group for next week if you're in our Facebook group.
There you go. All right. Bye, guys.